Well, kia ora, welcome. We've got Vicky here. Kia ora, Vicky.
Kia ora.
Vicky's just recently finished the 30-day Te Reo Māori Bootcamp course for October 2020. Vicky and I spoke a lot during the course, and lots of challenges in getting through the course. And I think we're going to jump on today and have a chat with Vicky about some of those challenges and what she thought of the course. But I think there'll be a lot of people at home watching this that can get a lot out of Vicky's story, and I think. Yeah, you might not think of Vicky, but I think you got a pretty inspirational story and an inspirational journey. So thank you very much for jumping on. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right, we'll jump into it. So for you, Vicky, you've come into this course. Before that, what were things like for you in regards to Te Reo Māori? Like, what were your drivers for learning? Where did this all sort of come from even wanting to come and jump on board?
Well, I've been thinking for a long time. I had been thinking, wanting to learn Te Reo, but probably as a non-Māori person, not sure where to go or where to begin. And I work in the arts and cultural sector, so it's obviously very important to my work to understand Te Reo and Te Ao Māori, tikanga Māori. And so I was feeling like I was floundering a bit in that area and realizing that I had a responsibility, but also an absolute passion for learning it as well. Not just feeling it was an obligation, feeling that it was really important. I would really want to learn. But also knowing that it's more than just a language. There's a lot to learn. It was a little overwhelming, I guess, where to begin and who to trust in terms of which course to go to. So this year, I think things were a bit easier in that way, and that seeing the resurgence of Te Reo and people talking about it a lot, and a lot of people learning it. Obviously, there's some courses that you can sign up for, but they were all booked out this year. So I was struggling to actually find an in-person course, and also it was a difficult year with all the lockdowns and things. And then I can't even remember how I stumbled across this, but I think I joined another Facebook group, and somehow this came up in it. And I thought, wow, this is me, a 30-day boot camp. It's a way to get started. Who knows what the journey will be like? Who knows where I'll be in 30 days? But yeah, I just signed up probably without thinking how much time commitment I needed to put into it. So I was like thrown in the deep end, but yeah, that's how I came to it. And I was really, really excited to find this course.
Yeah, I think 30 days it's not too short where you're not going to learn much, but it's not too long where it's like, okay, that's actually a really long commitment I've got to make. But 30 days, like I can actually see I can look forward to the end of 30 days, and I can see myself getting through that. And look, the workload that we go through is quite intense over those 30 days, but it's just, I think it's a really great period of time to make an initial commitment, and then you can come out the other end of it and go, I really like that. Actually, I want to go and do more. I want to learn more, or go, right, that was good, but it's not for me, and I think I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, I think it's a really good time frame. And I think what you just said about like all courses being booked out and things like that, the whole COVID thing this year with 2020, I think it's given people a lot more time to go out and investigate things that they're actually really passionate about and wanting to do. We're restricted on where we can go, and we're spending a lot more time at home. I actually ran a course when a bit of an ad hoc course when everything shut down in April this year, and yeah, that filled up like instantly because so many people were wanting to do it. So I think 2020's had its some of its blessings and its curses, and I think one of the blessings is, yeah, people have been given a little bit more of an opportunity to go and explore some of those things that they may have a bit more of a personal interest in. And yeah, well, I'm glad you found this course, and I'm glad that we've got to connect. And yeah, like I said at the start, some of our conversations, I know there's been quite a few challenges on your journey, and it's been really great to meet you and help you work through those. And yeah, I think you're going to go absolutely do fantastic moving forward. So when you saw the course, Like, were there any obstacles to you perhaps joining? Like you said, there's lots of other courses out there you can do nowadays. When we first started this, there wasn't many, but now there's lots of different courses available. For this particular one, were there any objections that you might have had before you jumped on, or?
No, I was actually, you say there's a lot of courses, but actually there's not many that are flexible in this way and online and accessible. There are other courses I'm really interested in doing in Auckland, but have been booked out. So I know I have to plan ahead for those. But to actually find something that I could just start now, this was perfect, really. So I didn't have any obstacles. I just thought, oh, I'm going to do this, and dived right in. I have obviously had some fears overall about, not being Māori and what was my place in learning this language, and what if I got it wrong and offended, which was my deepest fear, as you know. That didn't stop me signing up for this course. I thought maybe this is a way to start addressing that. Yeah.
And I think we did do that. One of the unique things about this course that I don't see too many other courses doing is we spend that sort of first week not really looking at anything to do with language as such. We do a bit of a deep dive on, what is your connection to this course? Why do you actually want to do that? We explore those themes. We explore what people's fears are. There's no point if we don't have something to connect to at the start of the journey. If we've got these barriers in place during the journey, it can be really hard to continue to progress. So that's why we start with those things in the beginning of the course, and then from there we move forward. And like, you've just shared some of your fears there, and I know we had plenty of conversations about them, and I was actually really proud of how you handled that, and some of the stumbling blocks along the way. You've done really fantastic, and I'm really proud of how you got through those challenges. So for you, we go through the course. What was sort of the main result that you got from the course, or the main, the biggest sort of takeaway for the course for you personally?
I think it's really interesting because, as you know, I got a little behind towards the end of the course. Just life took over, work took over. The great thing about this course is I didn't need to panic about any of that, because all the way the course is structured and the access to the lessons ongoing means that I can continue and catch up, which is great. So you think, oh, I don't know if I did everything I should have in 30 days, but actually now looking back, I've come such a long way. So I think it's, first of all, for me, it has been, one of the takeaways has been just the lessons themselves, and how you have simplified down the structures of sentences, and how I can now start a basic kōrero with the question and answer type structures that you've given us, and the different types of sentences, the different types of questions, and how you have given us things like, if we change one word like a verb, or we change the subject of sentence, we suddenly multiply, and we have, from learning a couple of things, we can have 25 sentences. And that is really great, because it just gives that starting point of being able to practice speaking, practice kōrero with people. So that's a takeaway for sure, the actual learnings. Something that you may not realize has been really important to me is the community of the people learning, and the way you've structured it with a Facebook group and with the weekly Zoom calls where we all got together, and then you broke us into accountability groups. Suddenly I have access to a whole lot of people who are learning as well. And so now I've got some buddies along the way that continues on, and we can, because one of the scariest things is speaking the language. No matter how much I've learned in my head pronunciations and things, to actually stand in front of people and speak is very nerve-wracking for me, and it mainly comes from a fear of offending, rather than a fear of looking stupid myself. It's more a fear of offending others. And so being able to practice in a safe space with these other people who are learning, and the whole culture you've put around this of it's okay to stumble around a bit and try, because that's the only way to learn, is really important to me. So otherwise I don't have that many people who I could just tap into and say, can I practice with you? So now I have a community, a whānau of people that I've met and, will stay friends and contacts. And
you were saying just before, I'll just jump in there, you were saying before, I think this is probably a first in this course, one of the people not only in the course, but that happened to end up in your accountability group lives just around the corner from you.
Oh, that was amazing. Like I saw in the next
How does that happen?
Yeah. So we figured out on the first call they were in the same suburb, and he contacted me after that and said, and we worked out where we were literally 3 minutes away. So I'm sure we walked past each other in the street. So that's great because we can get together in person now and practice speaking. So yeah, that was pretty coincidental.
Yeah, absolutely.
And really helpful as well. So yeah, and I suppose the third takeaway really is that now I have a direction. I know I've got a starting point. I now have so many resources already to practice with, so that by the time I get into an in-person course, maybe 2021, I kind of have that foundation to take with me and a bit more confidence. And also I know how to do self-learning now, and what books are good, what resources are good, what TV series are good to watch, and I've got the confidence I'm watching and reading the right stuff. So that has been, now I have a direction, whereas before I didn't even know where to begin.
Yeah, and I think it's really important for people to have that, I think, in 2020, because, other than the COVID stuff that's happening, we've all got really busy lives. We're all working longer. We're all commuting longer. So what that means is that the spare time that we do have to ourselves, it's often at home, getting things done. And I think there's just generally a lot more people these days sort of doing things at home on their own. So having the ability to now see how you can do self-learning, it's not always just an easy thing that comes naturally to people, but it sounds like you've picked up from this course some not just the content, but the way the content's been framed and how the whole framework of the course works. You can take the content out of the course and you can drop your own stuff in, and you can drop your own content in and start learning that way and keep progressing. So I'm really glad that you raised that, because it's a really good point, and something that I do like to highlight to people, because it's not something that you can see quite easily. You've got to really reflect and have a good think about it.
Yeah, and I think the way that I learn is I do need to take something away quietly, just go through it again and again and rehearse it and practice it, and then come together to speak with others. So I think that it suits the way that I learn. I know it was a new lesson every day for 30 days, but as I said, it doesn't matter. I've got now an overview, which is really brilliant, and now I can delve down deeper into the lessons by myself. But I still have the access to people for kōrero, and I still have that access in that community now. So it's like the best of all worlds right now, and the flexibility, especially at the moment. The sort of work I do, things have been a bit crazy at times, and having to respond to the different COVID things going on. So it just means I can be flexible in my learning around that stuff too. So yeah, it's ideal for me. Yeah.
Awesome. Sounds like it's been the perfect fit for you.
And it has, yeah. Thank you for doing the course.
No,
yeah.
my pleasure. So you've gone through the course, we've gotten to the end of it. We go through a very rigid structure each day with our lessons, our activities, our homework. We're doing writing, we're watching Opaki, we've got our accountability groups, we're doing live videos. There's kind of a lot of features to the course. So for you personally, what was maybe a specific feature of the course that you found worked really well for you?
I think the way the lessons were structured, I like clear structure, and so I did like the whole fact that every day there were the same 3 things. So there was the lesson with all the information, and then there was the homework practice, and then there were all the resources. So I think I found the lessons really easy. I liked the lessons, and sometimes you did these tables of things where we could try different, like past tense, present tense, different verbs, different subjects, etc., and you could mix them all around, and having those tables was great. So those lessons were brilliant. I didn't necessarily like the live videos, as you know, but it was good practice. And the first one I did, which was around the, that was really interesting, the way you started with what is your why? What is your reason for doing this course? And the first live video did too. I have a rather extensive Facebook community. I have work people and friends and family as well. And I just got overwhelming positive response and that's from non-Māori and Māori, positive about me doing this. And that was a real boost. And that hasn't gone away. That's with me. So even though I maybe didn't like doing the live videos, that was a good thing. But I really liked the Aupaki videos as well. And you know what stood out for me as well is when we played the game.
Oh, iti piti.
Iti piti.
Tahi,
And I had to.
Te kore, iti piti.
I really love doing that. So that came up in Aupaki, and then you brought it into our Zoom call and we practiced, and I was one of the people who had to play it. And that really got me thinking, and I love doing that. So those are things that stood out for me.
Yeah. Excellent. The live videos, like you said then, that you got a lot of really positive support from people, and there's kind of two aspects to doing the live videos. There's one which is, well, maybe three. One is getting your why out there. It's not just written down, now you're verbalizing it. Two, most people don't like doing the videos because they're scared of them. They're also scared of speaking te reo Māori, so if we can start to tackle that fear, it helps with those other ones as well. And three is all of this positivity that comes back from people. There's people in your lives, and there's people in everyone's lives that want to learn te reo Māori, not enough though to go and do something about it. So when they see you doing something about it and actually putting yourself out there and being quite vulnerable and showing this real commitment to doing that, something that they want to do themselves, it's an opportunity for people to start almost living vicariously through you, because they go, oh, look what Vicky's doing, this is awesome, like I wanted to do that, that's so cool. And then they start following along, and there's we do lots of live videos during the course, and I think that the love and the excitement that people get from watching you do that is just awesome. And then it's obviously expressed back to you, and that helps build your confidence too. So it's a really big confidence booster as well, having that feedback coming from all those people.
Yeah, and I realized that to get to where I would want to be, and from now, I've got to overcome that vulnerability barrier. I have to, go to a meeting and introduce myself in te reo. And yeah, the fear of getting the pronunciation wrong is, I know that's a very common fear for people. And but practice is the only way. Well, it's one thing to practice at home on your own, or even in a small conversation group, but to actually be in a professional situation, brings a whole new level of. But I'm going to get there. My goal would be to feel really confident and not have that feeling of lack of certainty as I'm speaking, introducing myself, say, or saying a mihi, or in whatever situation I'm in professionally. I want to feel confident and respectful. And yeah, still got a long way to go, but I will get there.
We're in motion now. We're moving forward, and you've now got a great place to start from. So for someone sitting at home watching this video, they're watching this now thinking, wow, Vicky's got an awesome story. Would you recommend this course to someone that's thinking about taking it? And if so, why?
Oh, definitely. It is such a great kickstart. I mean, of course, you can't learn any language in 30 days, right? But the amount that I've learned about the structure, the kupu, the vocabulary. Did I get that right?
Kupu.
Yeah. Kupu. And yeah, just the amount that I've now got there, that I can, yeah, it just is huge what I've learned in 30 days, even though of course I can't learn the entire language in 30 days, but it's really sort of moved me forward. And as I say, it's connected me to a community, and it's given me some direction. So if you're thinking about it, don't be afraid. It's the safest environment. I felt really safe, I felt really encouraged, and yeah, it's really exciting to sort of unlock some of the language that, you know, that you've been hearing, and suddenly understand what that means and why it's structured that way. And to start hearing words now when I'm listening to Māori TV, and, you know, starting to hear words and, oh, I know basically what they're saying there. That is so exciting, because, you know, this is our country, our land, our history. It's so important to understand, to know what place names mean, and to, yeah, it's really exciting. It's just like unlocking an entire world. So please do it if you're thinking about it.
Well, thank you, Vicky. It sounds like you've just opened up this huge new world of opportunity for yourself. You've got boundless points to get to in terms of what you can learn, and I think it's going to be a really exciting journey moving forward for you. Okay, well, look, that gets us to the end. Is there anything else that you might want to close with? Someone sitting there at home watching this in December 2020, December 2025, someone sitting there in the future might be watching this. Any final things that you might want to share with them?
No, just even doing this video, I feel very vulnerable, because I don't know if I'll be criticized by anyone for, but, you know, the thing is, I'm doing my best, and I want to learn the language, I want to understand it, and so it feels really good to just be trying and to start. And so, yeah, I think go for it if you're nervous. I'm only just at the, you know, I'm here and the language is here, Te reo is here, and I'm here, but yeah, I just don't hesitate. And I think the more of us who do, the better everything will be. I think you sent me a video of a woman from South Africa who had learned Te reo.
Yes.
Yeah, it was just amazing. She works at Auckland Museum, and she's been learning for 12 years, and she's speaking fluently, and I'm just in awe of her. And she said something along the lines of, you know, when we know a language, we understand the people, and then only good things can ensue. So yeah, I think it's a privilege to learn Te reo. I just feel really lucky that I found this course. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Vicky. Well, it's been a privilege for me getting to meet you, learn more about you, help you on this journey. It's been absolutely fantastic. So thank you for putting your faith in me to do the course and to help you on that journey.
Thank you.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks, Vicky, for jumping on. If you are interested in doing the course, please do get in touch. Just shoot me a message on Facebook or YouTube or wherever you're watching this video, and yeah, we can get started from there. So, thank you, Vicky, and for everyone at home, kia ora.
Kia ora.